In this type of rivalry, I believe so. Because it's in your face, and it's not just today, it's every single day. Since the day I've been here, February 12, 2020, there hasn't been a day that's gone by that someone hasn't mentioned to me something about this game.
And that was Mel Tucker at yesterday's press conference talking about Michigan State. And he got hired. What are you shaking your head at me for?
I'm not. I'm just saying I wish this guy was my coach.
Oh.
I've said it before. I'll say it again.
There's something about his delivery
that
is really, really intriguing. And I get he probably talks to his team differently, but probably not a whole lot different too. There's something about what he says and how it comes across. It's so authentic, and you got to believe, and you believe it.
And you got to know, and you got to understand that he really does understand rivalries. If you look at his track record, you look at where he's been. He was at Ohio State. So he understands the importance of Ohio State and Michigan. He's been at Michigan State before with Nick Saban, so he understands to some small extent, but even before he got here, Michigan State and Michigan. He's been at LSU. He understands LSU and Georgia. He's been at Georgia, so he understands Georgia. So he understands, and he was with the Browns when I was there, so he understands the Steelers and Browns. He understands rivalries. He understands how you get up for rivalries. He understands how it changes the mindset of players. He understands how some players try to do a little bit too much sometimes in those rivalry games. He really understands them. I think it will give him an edge in coaching for the game.
Also, Mel Tucker talked about how this game affects his legacy. This is game number 2 against the Michigan Wolverines. He is 1-0, shooting for 2-0 against the Wolverines.
It's a big game, and we embrace it. I don't try to play down, any expectations or anything like that. I told the players this morning, and I've told them this before. When you have rivalry games like this, at the end of the day, ultimately your legacy and your reputation and really is a lot of it is formed by how you play and how you coach in these games. And so, that's the reality of the situation, which is a good thing, because not everyone has these opportunities to coach and play in these games.
Man, definitely don't have a scotch and watch that late at night. Definitely don't do that.
So that is what I call the rope-a-dope press conference. It's going to lull you to sleep, and really in the back room, when he gets in the laboratory with his kids, he's going to absolutely make sure that they're ready to tear your head off. I think that the two guys in this game are the most important people in this game are both offensive coordinators.
Without question.
Ooh, yeah.
Without question.
Yeah. Their coordinator has come up with some great game plans. I loved in the beginning of the year when they were scoring on the first play. 3 games they scored on the first play?
Yeah. I love State of Miami.
I love the way they call a game. I just do.
Jay Johnson doing a really nice job for the Michigan State Spartans. Conversely, Josh Gaddis doing a nice job at protecting his quarterback, too, when Cade McNamara needs a little bit of help.
Run, bomb.
Run, bomb, incomplete. Bomb. Run, bomb, incomplete.
Two-back sets. He's got to do more two-back sets.
Run, bomb, pass interference.
I think he has
run.
Gaddis has to do more with the two-back set when he plays against Michigan State. When you have both of those backs, both talented, both can get the job done. And they're different type of backs. When you have both of them in at the same time, it causes the defense to pay attention. Now, if I'm Henderson, I'm safety. I'm looking. I'm like, all right, cool. What are we thinking? Are we going to Haskins? Is it going to be a run up the middle? If I'm Panishik, I'm like, are they going to try to sneak Corum out, throw the ball to him in the flats? So when they have two-back sets, causes the defense to think more. They got to think about that when using it.
I want to sneak over to the Michigan State side. Just focus on them for a second. We talk about Mel Tucker, and I hate to admit this. I really do. How can you not love the guy? I mean, seriously, I wish he.
How do you not?
I'm glad he's Michigan State's coach because I love when the rivalry is like this. This is fun
when you respect
for me.
It, when you love it.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is just great stuff. Whether it's the cigar whether it's the tweet game, whether it's press conferences like this, whether it's, in the locker room, you see him after the game. The guy's awesome. But also, the guy is smart. What makes Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, what makes these guys great coaches? They know the rules.
Yeah.
And Mel Tucker has ingratiated himself into today's college football rules. He has determined that in order to get good quickly, you got to dive into the transfer portal. He did that and treated it like he was an NFL general manager. And he went in there, he got 20 new players in the transfer portal. They have 41 new players come in camp this year than did last year. You want to talk about a guy who got it right off the bat? It's Mel Tucker.
Do you know how that's successful? Do you know how that happens? Do you know how you make that stick and how you make that work? You have to go to your team of players that already exist. You got to go to the core people that have already been there. They've been recruited by Michigan State. They were given scholarships by Michigan State, and they're already on the team. You got to go to those guys like Hayward that have been there, and you got to tell those guys, hey, look, we want to bring in a bunch of new players. We want to add to what Michigan State is. We want to add to the value of it. We want it to work. We have an idea how this could work. We want to use the transfer portal as add our disclosure, because we will have some guys that transfer as well that just don't want to be here anymore. But for this to work, you got to be approved. We need your approval. We need you guys to buy in. We need you guys to say, hey, we got some good kids, got this Kenneth Walker III. As long as and this is coming from inside Michigan State, their players are on board. They say, hey, we got Kenneth Walker III coming in. As long as he can help the team, and he's going to buy into what, chopping the wood, keep chopping it. As long as they buy into that, that's how you have success, because they've welcomed these new 41 players in. They haven't been like a clique of females where they're over there and they're over there and they're the new females and they're the old females. And it's like, oh, forget these up-and-coming young ones. They're all bonding together, and that's how they're winning. They bought in. And I guarantee you, Mel Tucker went to his current players and asked them to buy in before he brought those guys in.
And guess what else has to happen in addition to that?
They got to be good.
They have to work.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You can bring players in and they don't work out.
Bad chemistry.
They have bad chemistry. That's great.
Yeah.
They may not be as good as you thought they were on tape, and you may have gotten sold a bill of goods from the other coach when you did your homework on them. It has to work. They have done a great job in identifying talent, character, and fit, i.e. chemistry.
Hey, the good news is we're going to win a championship. The bad news is most of you won't be here for it.
Okay, Mike Ditka.
All right, Ditka.
That was a story. Who was the gentleman that joined us from the Bears, the radio call?
For the Bears.
Tom Thayer.
Tom Thayer joined
us
the week of the Lions and Bears and told the story when Mike Ditka was hired by the Bears.
Yeah.
He walks into the room and he says, "Men, I've got good news and bad news. The good news, we're going to win a Super Bowl. The bad news, most of you won't be here when we do."
I think we were at was that Big Boy?
Yeah, no, that was at
Hall.
we were at Hall
Financial.
Financial. Yeah, that was one of the greatest stories.
Love it.
that I ever heard.
85 Bears.
This is an exciting game. How long will Mel Tucker be in this game? That he talked about the LSU rumors. We will get to that next. Also, some strong. You want to talk about a strong denial?
Oh man,
Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's how you do it.
With the biggest, most impressive denial of all time when it comes to leaving for another job. You will hear all of those next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.